Okay folks, today we're going to learn about 3 different fishing knots. These 3 are the only 3 that I use out in the water, and I think that, that you'll find that they're the best fishing knots out there. The first knot that we're going to look at is called the snell knot. It's a little intimidating at first when you first see it, but it's actually a really easy knot to tie. This is what the snell will look like when we're done. Now I'm just going to use a bigger hook for demonstration reasons. Okay, so you start off with the hook in your left hand just like this. You take one end of your monofilament line, in this case it's 80-pound fluorocarbon, and you just want to line it up on the bottom part of the hook, on the shank. Okay? Next you want to take the tag end of the line and line it up on the top part so that you have a full circle. This is what it looks like. Okay? Next you pinch both of those lines with your finger and then start to slowly wrap. You want to wrap about 10 times or so. Alright, it's about 10. And then you just pinch what you've done with your 2 fingers. And what you're left with is this little tag. Then you take the tag in and you put it in your teeth. And all you do is pull. Alright, so there's your snell. Now, what you can do is you can take your tag in and feed it back through the eye. You don't have to do this, but a lot of people like to do it just to present the bait a little bit better. Okay? So there you go, and then you just trim off this end here and you're all set. That's the snell. You want to use the snell knot for your bigger fish, your bigger game, especially when you're bottom fishing. A lot of captains use it for jewfish and big grouper, just because it's a little bit more resistant than your typical clench or improved clench knot that a lot of anglers tie these days. As you can see, it's going to be really abrasive resistant, so when you're fishing those wrecks, you don't have to worry about your line, the wear and tear on your line. So that's the snell. Alright, so the second knot I want to show you guys is the canoe man knot. This knot is the only knot that I use in the bait just because it presents the bait in a totally different manner than any of the other knots that I've ever used. You'll see why in just a second. But you take your tag end of your line and you want about 4 or 5 inches on the end, okay? So you take it and all you do is you bring this loop back on itself, okay? So there's one loop and then you make an identical one right next to it, okay? Then you take the loop that's in your right hand and you just feed it through the left loop, okay? So there's what you're left with. Here's your tag end. You take your hook or your lure and you just feed it through that tag end and then back through that right loop, okay? And then all you do is pull tight. And what this does is it locks that knot in to where the eye of the hook or the eye of the lure is able to move around freely. Any other knot, it would be tight against the eye. Now this allows the bait, if it's a live bait, to swim around, and it allows the current to kind of play around with the lure while so you don't have to jig up and down as much, and you don't have to use as much rod action. This works great for the bay. It's the only one I use in the bay. And again, it's just a really simple, quick knot, the canoe man knot. Alright, so the last knot I want to show you how to tie is the common fisherman's knot. You take your tag end and you go through the eye of the hook. Then you twist the hook about 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright? Then you take your tag end and you go through that first loop by the eye of the hook. And then all you do is you come back in the big loop to lock it in. And then pull tight. Here's your common fisherman's knot.